You don't get many chances in life. But when you do, you better own that moment. You better grab it like it's the last breath in your lungs. This is not the time to pause. This is the time to press, to push, to go all in. Because when the moment comes, you either dominate it or get dominated by it. Own the moment. You don't understand just how powerful the second is. You think time is this thing you can casually toss aside, like there's always going to be more of it. But let me tell you something that will change your life. Every second is a gift. And if you don't learn how to value it, you will waste your life waiting for a tomorrow that may never come. The reason you're stuck, the reason you're not where you want to be, is because you're living like time is unlimited. But it's not. You don't have forever. You barely have today. So if you're going to make anything of yourself, if you're going to chase a dream, hit a goal, or break a generational curse, then you've got to start treating each second like it's sacred. Because it is. You're not guaranteed the next moment. You're not guaranteed the next breath. You woke up today and that alone was a blessing. You got out of bed and that's a miracle. Somebody else didn't wake up. Somebody else didn't get out of that hospital bed. Somebody else didn't get that second chance. But you did. So what are you doing with it? I hear people all the time talking about what they're going to do. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to go back to school. And my question is always the same. When? Because saying it don't mean nothing if your actions don't back it up. And every time you say it tomorrow, you're making a deal with the devil that you don't even realize. You're trading away a moment you have now for a future you don't even own. You think time is patient. You think it's forgiving. But it's not. Time doesn't wait on you to get ready. Time doesn't care about your excuses. Time doesn't care about how tired you are, or how scared you are, or how many people let you down. It just keeps moving second by second, minute by minute, day by day. And every moment you waste, it takes with it a piece of your potential, a piece of your purpose. If you want to be great, you can't live like average people. You can't hit snooze 5 times and expect to win. You can't scroll social media for hours and expect to grow. You can't party all weekend and expect to have peace on Monday. Nah, success doesn't work like that. The ones who win are the ones who understand the value of time. The ones who dominate are the ones who say, I don't get this moment again, so I'm going to own it. You keep saying, I'm waiting for the right time. But let me ask you this. What if now is the right time? What if the thing you've been waiting for is already in front of you, but you can't see it because you're too busy wishing for a better setup, a better mood, a better day? What if the door is already open, but you won't walk through it because you're still preparing for the perfect moment instead of seizing the real one? Let me make it clear. There's no perfect moment. There's only now, right here, right this second. And what you choose to do in this second can change everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to have the perfect plan. You just need to start. Take a step. Take a step. Make a move. Do something. Because one step today is worth more than 100 steps planned for next year. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Your life is a reflection of how you treat your time. That's it. That's the formula. You want to know why you're not seeing progress? Look at how you're spending your day. Look at how you're spending your seconds. Are you investing them or are you wasting them? Are you using them to grow or are you using them to coast? Because I promise you, time is either working for you or against you, but it's never neutral. You've got to be intentional. You got to start treating your time like money. Better yet, treat it like oxygen, because you can live without money for a while, but you can't live without oxygen for even a few minutes. That's how you need to see time, as the very thing keeping your dreams alive. You need to get desperate about your time. You need to protect it, schedule it, defend it from distractions and energy drainers. Stop giving your time to people who don't value it. Stop spending your energy on things that don't grow you. Stop letting moments pass you by because you were too afraid to take a chance. Let me tell you something from experience. The people who succeed in life are not always the smartest. They're not always the most talented, but they are always the most focused. They show up when they don't feel like it. They put in the reps when nobody's watching. They say no to good things so they can say yes to great things. And they understand that the gap between their dream and their reality is the time they choose to spend building it. So here's the challenge. The next time you feel like saying, I'll do it later, I want you to stop. I want you to ask yourself, well, what if later never comes? And if the answer scares you, good. That means you're starting to realize what's really at stake. That means you're waking up to the truth that this moment is everything. You see, owning the moment isn't about being loud. It's not about shouting from the rooftops or posting your grind on Instagram. It's about discipline. It's about consistency. It's about choosing to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. It's about realizing that every second you waste is a second you can't get back, and acting accordingly. You don't need more time. You need more time. You need more focus. You need more commitment. You need to stop romanticizing the future and start maximizing the present. Because the only moment that matters is the one you're living in. And when you understand that, really own that, your whole life changes. You start getting up earlier. You start saying no to distractions. You stop playing small. You stop blaming other people. And you start walking like you know what time it is. Like you know this second is rare. This second's valuable. This second's valuable. This second is the foundation of your destiny. So what are you going to do? Sit back and let another second slip away? Or are you going to wake up, rise up, and own the moment? Because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is how you treat your time. The difference between dreams and regrets is what you do with your second. You want to be successful? You want to be successful? You want to live with purpose? Then act like every second is a gift and spend it like your life depends on it. Everybody wants the spotlight, but not everybody wants to prepare in the dark. Everybody wants to win, but not everybody wants to try when no one's watching. We live in a world obsessed with outcomes, trophies, likes, applause. But the truth is, none of that matters if you haven't put in the work. Because when the pressure hits, when the lights come on, and when it's time to perform, you won't rise to the occasion. You'll fall back to your level of preparation. And that's why the moment will only belong to those who are prepared to own it, not wish for it, not pray for it, prepare for it. Preparation is the quiet work. The invisible grind is the 4 a.m. alarms when everyone else is asleep. It's the hours of study, of repetition, of mastering the craft when no one is clapping. It's what separates the committed from the curious. See, most people want greatness until they see what greatness requires. They want the crown but don't want the cross. Those who succeed, those who dominate, they understand this simple truth. Success is not sexy, it's scheduled. When I say preparation makes the moment yours, I mean that greatness is earned before the moment ever shows up. Think about an Olympic sprinter. You see 10 seconds on the track. But what you don't see is the years of training, the early mornings, the strict diets, the sore muscles, the failure, the sacrifice. That gold medal isn't won in the race. It's won in the practice. It's won in the pain. That's what preparation looks like. That's where champions are made. You can't cheat the grind. You can't fake readiness. The moment will expose you. If you didn't put in the work, it will show. If you weren't consistent, it will show. If you cut corners, it will show. That's why you got to be obsessed with the work behind the scenes. Because the work you do in private becomes the confidence you carry in public. It becomes the fuel that allows you to stand tall when it matters most. But here's the problem. Most people don't like preparation because it doesn't give them instant results. We're addicted to now, fast food, fast money, fast fame. But real success, that's slow cooked. That's built in silence. Preparation is the grind that no one sees and the discipline that no one celebrates. It's lonely, it's frustrating, it's often thankless. But it's also where the real magic happens. You're not preparing for the moment that's easy. You're preparing for the moment that's hard. For the moment when doubt creeps in, when the pressure rises, when the voice in your head says, you're not good enough. That's when your preparation will carry you. That's when your training will remind you. I've been here before. I've done the work. I belong here. The moment is not the time to panic, it's the time to perform. And performance only flows from preparation. Stop saying you're waiting on the opportunity and stop becoming the kind of person who's ready for it. Because when the door opens, it'll be too late to get ready. You won't have time to build character. You won't have time to sharpen your skill. You won't have time to grow into the person you need to be. That time is now. This is the moment to become the version of you that can handle what you're asking for. Don't ask for a level you're not preparing to manage. Preparation is also about integrity. It's about doing the right thing when no one's watching. It's easy to show up when the camera's on. It's easy to grind when the crowd is cheering. But can you show up when it's just you? The silence and the goal. Can you push when there's no applause, no paycheck, no praise? Because that's the test. That's what builds the character you'll need when the stakes are high. And I've seen it too many times. People get an opportunity they beg for and then blow it because they weren't ready. They thought talent was enough. They thought charisma could carry them. But talent without discipline is a tragedy. Passion without preparation is just noise. You want the stage, earn it. You want the mic, respect it. You want the platform, build the foundation first. And that foundation is built in every small decision. Every day you choose to read instead of scroll. Every time you say no to comfort and yes to growth. Every rep you do when your body is tired. Every page you study when your mind is distracted. Those small decisions, repeated over time, become the armor you wear when the battle shows up. You gotta shift your mindset. Stop waiting for moments to happen to you. Stop preparing to own them. Preparation is a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle you show up to life. Not just when it's convenient, but when it's uncomfortable. Not just when it's exciting, but when it's boring. If you only train when you feel like it, you'll lose to the person who trains even when they don't. You don't get to choose the moment, but you do get to choose how ready you are when it comes. That's your power. That's your control. And that's why you can't waste today. Every day you prepare is a day you get closer to owning your moment. Every day you grind is a day you separate yourself from those who won't. Because when it's all said and done, nobody remembers what you wanted to do. They remember what you were ready to do. Preparation is also about vision. It's about knowing where you're going before you get there. If you don't have a vision, you won't prepare properly. You'll just drift. But when you have clarity, when you know what you're chasing, when you see the mountain in front of you, then you can train with purpose. You can wake up with urgency. You can structure your life around becoming the person who can climb that mountain. Without vision, you'll wander. With vision, you'll prepare. Listen, the world is not going to slow down for you. Opportunities are not going to wait. Life is going to demand your best, whether you're ready or not. That's why you got to prepare like your future depends on it. Because it does. The level of preparation you put in today determines the life you live tomorrow. It determines how you handle challenges, how you respond under pressure, and how far you go when doors open. So here's what I need you to do. Commit. Commit to the process. Commit to the grind. Fall in love with the preparation, not just the result. Learn to value discipline more than hype. Show up every single day, not just when you're motivated, but when you're tired, discouraged, and doubting yourself. That's when champions are made. And understand this. The work you do when no one is watching is what creates the moment when everyone is watching, the silence before the applause. The preparation before the performance. That's the real stage. That's where greatness is born. So prepare, study, sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, condition your spirit, because your moment is coming. And when it does, you won't have to get ready. You'll already be ready. You'll step into that moment, look it in the face and say, I've been waiting for you. I've been working for you. I'm built for this. And you'll walk out of that moment victorious, not because you got lucky, but because you were prepared. You can't control the clock. You can't slow it down, pause it, or turn it back. Time is gonna keep moving, with or without you. Every second is ticking. Every moment is passing. And the crazy thing is, people waste time like it's refillable, but it's not. You don't get refunds on missed opportunities. You don't get second chances at a first impression. That moment you let pass you by yesterday, it's not coming back. You don't control time. But what you do control is how you show up. What you do control is your commitment. You see, commitment is the only currency that buys success. It's the only power you got over time. You can't stretch time, but you can stretch your focus. You can't rewind the clock. But you can decide right now that you're going to use every remaining second like it's your last. That's what winners do. They understand that time is ruthless, but commitment is relentless. And when you marry the two, When you lock in with everything you've got, you stop being a victim of time and start becoming a master of your moment. Most people live like they have forever. They act like time owes them something, like it'll wait until they feel ready. They keep saying one day, but they don't understand. One day turns into no day. One day becomes 10 years. One day becomes a life unlived. That's what happens when you let time run the game. But when you flip the script, when you say, I don't control the clock, but I control my grunt time, now you got power. Now you got fire. Think about this. Every morning, life gives you 86,400 seconds. That's your deposit. And at midnight, anything you didn't use with intention is gone. You don't get to carry it over. There's no rollover plan on time. It's use it or lose it. So if you wake up and you're not locked in, if you're not committed to maximizing every breath, every step, every task, you're not just wasting time. You're wasting purpose. You're wasting legacy. You've got to stop letting how you feel dictate how you move. That's what separates amateurs from professionals. Amateurs wait until they're motivated. Professionals show up because they're committed. Amateurs want the result. Professionals commit to the routine. You think success is about being excited? No, success is about being disciplined. It's about doing what needs to be done long after the mood you made the commitment in has faded. Some of you are talented, more talented than most, but your lack of commitment is killing your potential. You keep waiting for the right season, the right vibe, the perfect alignment of stars before you start. But the truth is, there's never a right time. There's only this time. And if you keep waiting, life will pass you by. Time will run you over. And all you have left is excuses and regrets. Stop asking for more time and start being more disciplined with the time you already have. We all get the same 24 hours. The difference is how we use them. Some people use them to build empires. Others use them to binge watch shows. Some people use them to chase dreams. Others use them to scroll through someone else's life. But the ones who win, they don't waste a second. They don't play with time. They honor it. And they attack every day like it's a test they refuse to fail. Commitment doesn't care about convenience. It doesn't care about comfort. Commitment means you do it when you're tired. You do it when you're bored. You do it when it's raining. You do it when you're broken. Commitment says, I don't care how I feel. I'm showing up. That's how legacies are made. That's how dreams become reality. Not through wishful thinking. Not through perfect circumstances, but through raw, unshakable commitment. You want to be different. You want to rise above. Then make a decision that your commitment will outlast your emotion. Make a decision that time won't run your life. Your discipline will. That's the mindset of a champion. A champion understands that time doesn't wait for motivation to show up. It just keeps ticking. So you got to bring your own fire. You got to decide that no matter what happens, no matter how many hits you take, no matter how tired you are, you're going to give it everything you got. Think about the greats. Think about Kobe Bryant. That man didn't become a legend because he had more time. He became a legend because he was obsessed with preparation, obsessed with focus, obsessed with using every second like it mattered. He knew the clock wasn't his friend, so he worked like every day was game 7. That's what it means to be committed. That's what it means to dominate time instead of letting time dominate you. Most people get caught in the trap of the clock. They say, I don't have time. But the real problem isn't time. It's priorities. If something matters to you, you make time. Period. If something is a non-negotiable, you don't hope for time. You create it. And how do you create time? By cutting distractions, by saying no to nonsense, by tightening your circle, by turning your phone off, by waking up earlier. That's how committed people move. They make sacrifices. They trade temporary pleasure for permanent progress. If you keep waiting for life to slow down, you'll wait forever. Life doesn't slow down, but you can speed up your discipline. You can tighten your focus. You can get locked in so deep that time can't shake you. That's how you win in a world that never stops moving, by moving with purpose. Some of y'all are letting moments slip by because you're not all in. You got one foot in the dream and one foot in comfort. And the truth is, you'll never own your moment like that. You gotta burn the boats. You gotta eliminate the backup plan. You gotta say, and this is it. I'm gonna make it work or I'm going to die trying. That's commitment. That's fire. That's the only way to beat the clock, with relentless, full-throttle execution. You might not be the fastest, you might not be the smartest, but if you're the most committed, you would outlast, outwork, and outperform everybody else. You'll win not because you had the best start, but because you refuse to quit. You refuse to take your foot off the gas. That's the power of commitment. It turns average into excellent. It turns potential into performance. And here's what I love about commitment. It's a decision you can make right now. You don't have to wait. You don't need permission. You don't need a new year, a new month, or a Monday. You can decide right now that you're done living halfway, done procrastinating, done waiting, done waiting. You can draw a line in the sand and say, I might not control the clock, but from this moment forward, I control what I do with it. So get serious, get focused, get urgent. Start treating every minute like it's part of your mission. Start measuring your day by what you commit to, not what you intended. Intention is good. Commitment is better. Intention says, I hope. Commitment says, I will. You don't need more time. You need more discipline. You need more discipline. You need to lock in so hard that nothing, not fear, not fatigue, not failure, can distract you. You need to move with such intensity that time doesn't stand a chance. You need to wake up every day and go to war with the clock, knowing that while you can't stop it, you can beat it with execution. So what are you going to do with your time? Are you going to keep letting it slip through your fingers, or are you going to step up, commit, and make every second count? Because the clock will keep ticking. But greatness, that's your choice. Success, that's your responsibility. And your destiny, that's tied to one thing, your commitment. Pressure is not the enemy. It's the training ground. It's not something to run from, it's something to run through. Pressure is not here to break you. It's here to build you. But most people don't see it that way. Most people treat pressure like a problem. They flinch, they fold, they run. They avoid it like it's something toxic. But the truth is, pressure creates diamonds. And if you want to become the best version of yourself, you got to stop running from pressure and start embracing it. When you look at the greatest athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, what separates them is how they handle pressure. Not just the pressure of expectation, but the pressure of failure, of responsibility, of consistently showing up when it matters most. That's where greatness is revealed. That's the arena where ordinary becomes extraordinary. Because anyone can shine when things are easy. Anybody can look good when there's no resistance. But who are you when the stakes are high? Who are you when everything's on the line? That's the real test. That's pressure. Pressure is like fire. It can burn you if you don't respect it. But if you understand it, if you train for it, it becomes the same fire that forges your strength. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to push you beyond your limits, to refine you, to reveal the character you didn't even know you had. Most people avoid that moment. They play it safe. They keep their dreams small, their actions careful, their lives predictable. Why? Because they don't want to feel pressure. But here's the problem. No pressure, no growth. No stress, no strength. No resistance, no resilience. If you want to win, you have to stop thinking pressure is something bad. Pressure is just a sign that the moment mattered. Pressure means you're doing something significant. You feel pressure when you're walking into a room that demands your best. Or it's not something to avoid. That's something to prepare for. That's something to embrace. That's a signal that you're stepping into your purpose. So don't run from it. Walk toward it. Lean into it. You got to understand that pressure exposes the truth. It doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your words. It only responds to your work. When pressure hits, it will show the world if you've been grinding or just talking. It will reveal if you've been disciplined or just dreaming. It will make it clear whether you've been putting in the work or just pretending. So if you want to thrive under pressure, preparation must be your lifestyle. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall back to the level of the training. And if you train under pressure, you'll perform under pressure. Some of you are asking for big things, a big platform, a big opportunity, but you're not building the strength to carry that weight. You want the stage, but you don't want the spotlight. You want the position, but you don't want the pressure. That's not how it works. The greater the blessing, the greater the pressure. The higher you rise, the more pressure you will feel. And if you're not training your mindset, your emotions, your discipline, that pressure will crush you instead of shape you. Pressure isn't just physical, it's emotional. It shows up as self-doubt, as fear, as anxiety. Whispers, what if I fail? It screams, you're not good enough. And your job, when that pressure rises, is to silence the noise with action. You don't overcome pressure with positive thinking alone. You overcome it by being prepared. You overcome it by doing the work so many times, under so many conditions, that you become bulletproof. Remember this, diamonds are formed under pressure, but not just any pressure. Not just any pressure. Pressure applied consistently with heat, with force over time. That's the formula. And your success follows the same law. You don't become great from one big moment. You become great by staying in the fire long enough that what once scared you now strengthens you. That's growth. That's power. That's how diamonds are made. But here's what's real. Most people want to skip the process. They want the diamond, but they don't want the pressure. They want the reward without the resistance. And that's why they stay stuck, because every time pressure shows up, they tap out. They step back. They look for something easier. And in doing so, they cheat themselves out of growth. They delay their greatness. They settle for less, all because they refuse to lean into discomfort. You've got to flip the script in your mind. Pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. It's how life builds your capacity. It's how the universe tests your commitment. You say you want to win? Cool. Let's see how you handle this challenge. You say you're built for greatness. Let's see what you do under fire. Pressure doesn't just test your skill. It tests your will. It tests your will. It asks, are you serious or are you just interested? In your response to pressure with every time. There are moments in life where the pressure will feel overwhelming. The weight of expectation, the responsibility to deliver, the fear of letting people down. It can all feel like too much. But in those moments, you gotta remember that pressure is not a sign to retreat. It's a sign to rise. Pressure is a sign that you're in position, that you've been chosen, that something big is happening. And now it's time to deliver. You don't have to be perfect under pressure, but you do have to be present. You've got to breathe. You've got to focus. You've got to lock in and trust that everything you've trained for, everything you've endured, has prepared you for this moment. That's what separates winners from losers. Winners don't avoid the pressure. They don't get paralyzed by it. They show up regardless of how they feel. They perform even when their heart is racing. They push through the fear. They execute under tension because they know this is where greatness lives. The people you admire didn't get there by accident. They were forged in pressure. They didn't fold when the weight came. They carried it. They didn't hide from challenges. They leaned into them. They didn't run from the fire. They walked through it. And on the other side of that pressure, they found their greatness. You have that same choice. Every time pressure shows up, it's an opportunity. You can either use it as fuel or you can let it defeat you. But you can't do both. You've got to train yourself to say, this pressure is making me better. You've got to see it as a blessing, not a burden. Because pressure doesn't show up in empty lives. It shows up in important ones. It shows up in lives that are moving, that are growing, that are stepping into purpose. And if pressure is showing up in your life, it means you're doing something right. So don't let it scare you. Let it shape you. And here's the last thing I'll say. Pressure is a privilege. Not everyone gets it. Not everyone is in a position where people are counting on them. Not everyone gets to step up and lead, perform, deliver. So if you feel pressure, that means you've been given a moment. Don't waste it. Don't run from it, own it. Because when it's all said and done, the people who make history aren't the ones who avoided pressure. They're the ones who embraced it. The ones who said, put the weight on me. The ones who stared down fear, stared down failure and walked forward anyway. That's how you become a diamond. That's how you shine. Not in spite of the pressure, but because of it. When you decide to own the moment, you're deciding to give everything you got, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what went wrong yesterday or what might go wrong tomorrow. Giving everything you got doesn't mean giving everything you feel like giving. It means giving everything that's required. It means digging deep into the core of who you are, past your excuses, past your insecurity, past your fatigue, and finding a version of yourself that shows up regardless and creating that version of you, the one that doesn't need permission, doesn't need motivation, and doesn't wait for the perfect time. That's the version that owns the moment. Too many people live with the mindset that they'll give their all when things are right, when they feel good, when the timing is perfect, when the environment is set up for them to succeed. But champion, those who rise above average understand that success doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Success is born in adversity. Power is forged in resistance. And moments are owned by people who show up with everything they've got, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one is watching. Let me break it down. When you walk into that meeting, are you walking in with your full energy, your full attention, your full preparation? Or are you coasting in on 70% because you were tired or distracted or unmotivated? When you show up at the gym, are you training like someone who's trying to break a barrier? Or are you just going through the motions because you were showed up? When you get into the classroom, the studio, the office, the field, whatever your battlefield is, are you engaged like your life depends on it? Because it does. There are people who live their whole lives showing up halfway, half-hearted, half-baked plans, half-focused attention. And then they wonder why they never reach the level they dream about. You don't get full life results with half-effort habits. You don't become great by giving a little. You don't dominate by being distracted. You don't win by watching others give more than you. What's dangerous about not giving your all is that it becomes a pattern. Once you start holding back, it becomes easier and easier to do it again and again, and to do it again and again. You normalize mediocrity. You train yourself to be okay with it just enough. And that's when your dreams start to die. Not because they're impossible, but because you weren't willing to give the full version of yourself to the process. And let's be real, sometimes giving your all doesn't even guarantee a win in the moment. You might still lose the game, miss the mark, fall short of the goal. But when you give everything, you grow. You build strength. You build resilience. You build discipline. And those are the tools that guarantee success in the long run. Every time you go all in, you're making deposits in the account of your future greatness. So don't give everything expecting immediate results. Give everything because you're shaping the kind of person who eventually wins. You got to treat every opportunity like it's your only shot. You don't know how many more moments you'll get. You don't know if tomorrow is promised. So if this is your one shot to speak, to perform, to lead, to serve, own it. Pour out everything you got. Make it so that when you walk away, there's nothing left in the tank. Make it so that if someone watched you, they would know without a doubt that you gave every ounce of your being. Some people get scared of giving everything because they're afraid of what happens if they still fail. They think if I give everything and still lose, what does that say about me? But that's the wrong way to look at it. Giving everything doesn't make you weak. It makes you dangerous. Because people who give everything, even in loss, become stronger, wiser, better. They don't just bounce back. They bounce forward. They don't shrink from challenges. They grow through them. Stop saving energy for tomorrow. Stop pacing yourself in life like you're running a casual job. This isn't a game. This is your life. If there's a relationship to fight for, fight with everything. If there's a dream to chase, chase it relentlessly. If there's a skill to master, tack it with intensity. Don't leave this earth with potential still inside of you. Don't leave this world with your greatness locked up behind fear, doubt, or hesitation. You were built to burn bright, not flicker in uncertainty. Sometimes we look around at others and say, well, they're not giving everything either. And we use that as a justification to coast. But the moment you compare yourself to someone else's standards, you've already lost the race. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to stand out. You weren't made to follow the average path. You were made to carve your own lane. You don't need someone else's permission to go all out. You don't need someone else's example to decide to be excellent. Own your standard, set it high, and meet it every single day. The truth is, people who inspire the world, the ones we admire and follow, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who showed up when it was hard. They're the ones who gave their best when nobody believed in them. They're the ones who poured out everything when it didn't seem like it would make a difference. And because of that, their lives became the difference. You can be that person. You can be the example. You can be the standard. But it starts now. It starts with the decision to give your best. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, in this moment. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop negotiating with your goals. Stop trying to keep a little in the tank just in case. You're not running out. You're refueling with every step of obedience, with every action of excellence, with every bold move you make. So give it all. Give the full version of you. Bring the fire. Bring the focus. Bring the commitment. Because when you do that consistently, you won't just succeed, you'll evolve. You won't just reach your goals, you'll redefine what's possible. And you won't just live, you'll own every moment that life puts in front of you.